Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about a topic that's very dear to my heart, and that's the digital nomad lifestyle. If you clicked on this video, you might be someone like me who's always dreamed about traveling abroad all the while you're working remotely, discovering new cultures, discovering new lifestyles, etc. So if you did, then this video is right for you. I'll be dividing this video in a few different key parts, so feel free to check the description below and then see which part interests you the most, and then you can just skip to whatever it is. So first, I want to talk to you about my own journey. So for me, as I said, like from a very young age, I had always dreamed about traveling the world. Like I always felt like there was so much more than just staying in my home country. So it was really a dream to travel to so many different countries, to work there, live there, etc. So when I was even still in high school and then I went on to go to college, I knew I had to choose something that like some work or some major that would allow me in the future to work remotely. So I'm not going to go too much into the details of what I'm doing right now, but basically fast forward, I am now self-employed and my work allows me to work remotely like 100% even from abroad. Another thing I want to mention is that I know there are a lot of different kind of like digital nomads. I consider myself like a part-time digital nomad in the sense that I'm not all year long abroad working from abroad. So I work from my home country and then sometimes I go abroad and I work from abroad. And it's more like, this kind of part-time rhythm. For me, I felt like it was easier to ease into this lifestyle, rather to go all in directly, and it helped me to understand like what worked for me, what doesn't, how I felt more productive, etc. But what I can tell you, little spoiler alert, I really fall in love with this kind of lifestyle, and my goal now for the future is to really transition towards a more like full-time digital nomad. But yeah, we'll come back to this. And last thing I want to add before we go to the next part, this is a very personal journey in the sense that everyone is different and everyone has different preferences and interests, etc. So something that works for me doesn't always work for someone else. So I know that social media nowadays tries to make us believe that this kind of lifestyle is for everyone, and if you're not living this way you must be so unhappy, but that's not true. This really, there's a lot of good things, but there's also some downside, and I know it's not for everyone. So that's something I want to mention, and also say that it's okay if it doesn't match with you or with someone else. So for me, since I started working remotely, I had the chance to work in a few different countries like Morocco, South Korea, Greece, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. Um, yeah, anyway, that's not important. And I've from this experience I've learned a few different things, not just about my work but also about myself. As I said, like how I feel most productive, what works for me, what doesn't. One of the biggest things I love about this lifestyle is the flexibility and the freedom it gives you. Because imagine this, like you're in your Airbnb on a Greek island, you wake up, you grab some breakfast, and then you just take your laptop, sit by the pool, get some work done, hop on a Zoom meeting, and then when your meeting's done, you just go for a swim, and then you want to explore the city a bit more, so you just go out for a few hours, you can just explore, and then you come back to your Airbnb, you can work a few more hours, and then when that's done, you can go to like some local restaurant and then meet some local people, and then come back home. Like, you really have 100% flexibility and freedom to organize your day how you want it, and you can combine it perfectly with travel. And honestly, I realized that when I have this kind of flexibility and freedom, and when I can combine my work with travel, I enjoy my work a lot more. And I know that's not for everyone, but for me, I started enjoying my work a lot more when I work remotely from abroad rather than when I work from home. And I know for some people it sounds strange, but the lifestyle that I've combined with my work when I'm abroad, it makes me so much more happy. I feel a lot more fulfilled. I feel a lot more joy rather than when I'm just working from my home country, and not doing much at the end of the day. Like, honestly, that kind of balance, it gives me so much peace and joy, like finding the right balance between traveling and working. But at the same time, it's really like so fulfilling. I really love it so much. And another like positive thing about this kind of lifestyle. And of course, that's going to depend on your home country and then where you will be traveling to. But it can also make a lot of like financial sense to work from abroad. For example, for me, I live in Europe, I live in Belgium. Here, it's quite expensive lifestyle, whether it be rent, groceries, etc. It's quite an expensive life, let's say. So for me, if I travel to some country that's a bit like cheaper, it actually makes more sense financially to work from there than from home because I end up spending less. So of course it depends on, again, as I said, the destination you'll be going to and your spending habits, because some people, they go to some cheaper country compared to their home country, but they end up spending more because their spending habits are a little bit crazy. So of course there's a lot of things to consider, um, but if you plan it well, it can really make some sense financially as well. So for the downsides, I have to be honest with you guys. It's not like all sunshine and sunset and happy beach time, etc. Obviously, there are some things that are also not as nice, let's say. It's just that there are some like downsides and hidden challenges that you don't always see because most people don't really talk about this aspect. We only see people like living their best life in Bali, in Thailand, Maldives, whatever. But most people don't talk about these aspects as well. But I feel like it's definitely something to consider because based on your personality and your preferences, these downsides could be a deal breaker for you. So the first one, and for me, honestly, that's the biggest one and the most challenging one, is the uncertainty and the things that are out of your control. Because I'm not only talking about like a delayed flight or a canceled accommodation, I'm talking about those things that directly affect your work and there's like nothing you can do about it. Like let's say you've booked an Airbnb for a few weeks, and when you arrive there, you realize the Wi Fi is really shitty, and then you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do? Because there's a lot of work I need to do. Like, for example, I've been to Athens recently and I booked a stay. And when I arrived there, the Wi Fi was like really bad. And then one evening, I had some really urgent work I needed to finish. And the Wi Fi just wasn't having it. Like, I couldn't even load like one single page. So I end up like turning on my mobile data and then like making a personal hotspot so that I can connect with my laptop. And even mobile data was not having it. I couldn't access the internet. And it was late in the evening. And so I didn't want to go out and work from outside because the evening life in Athens is quite, I mean, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. I'm not a night person. And even I wouldn't find a calm spot to work. Like during the day, you can find some cafe or something. But in the evening, it's like, no. So I remember feeling so stressed and so frustrated because there was literally nothing I could do. So that can be quite challenging at times, and you have to be really able to deal with your stress and then try to find like some plan B or find some way to make it work without losing your mind. The second thing that can be quite challenging is the last minute work surprises. And of course, that's going to depend on what work you're doing. But for example, for me, my travel and my work don't always like align smoothly in the sense that sometimes some last minute work pops up when you're literally about to board your flight or you're literally about to head out for the day, and that can feel pretty stressful. Like for example, in my case, I have a customer, like a client, that's really a last minute guy. So he'll send you like last minute, hey, I'm sorry, this needs to be done today, can you pick this up? And I was literally at the airport, and then I'm like, oh gosh, because you literally have a timer because you have your boarding time, and then you're like have this work that you need to finish, and you're literally like doing it as fast as you can before your boarding time. And honestly, that can also get pretty stressful. So of course, this one depends on what you're doing, like what kind of work, but in my case, that can get like pretty stressful. And the last one, and this depends on your destination, but it can be the time zone struggle. So if you're going to a destination where the time zone is quite different from your home country, and if you work with customers in your home country, this can get pretty challenging as well because sometimes it means you're going to have very early meetings or very late evening meetings, because you have to make it work with their work time, in your home country. Or for example, um, let me give you an example, like a real case scenario. When I went to South Korea, we had an 8-hour difference with Belgium. And so I tried to organize my day in a way that I could finish everything not too late. Let's say, for example, 6 p.m. By 6 p.m., I did all my work so that the rest of the evening I can be chill, go out, etc. And the thing is, maybe I receive email from my client like 5:30 p.m. because there it's only 9:30 p.m. So he's starting his day and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you pick this up? It's quite urgent, needs to be done today." And then you're like, oh my gosh, I just worked a full day already because here it's already like 6 p.m. But then you have to make it work somehow. So this can be also quite challenging when you have like a big time zone difference and that you're really working side to side with your customers in your home country. So people sometimes ask, like, is this right for me? Is this lifestyle right for me? And honestly, there's no right answer because it really depends on you. Because as you've heard, it's a lifestyle that comes with a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility, a lot of adventure, beauty, whatever. But it also comes with a lot of challenge. It requires a lot of um, self discipline. It requires a lot of uh, adaptability. You really need to be able to work in such stressful environment. You should be able to always adapt to the different challenges. A lot of things are going to change, so you need to be okay with that, because I know some people, like, when things don't go according to plan, they literally freak out. So you have to be able to live with this kind of environment in a pretty how can I say, recurring way. It's not like a one thing that happens once. So, if you're someone who loves structure, you like to come home to the same space every day, you like to work from the same environment, and you don't like changes or these kind of challenges, then it might be a tough adjustment for you, because as I explained, it's not always very clean, very organized like that. Because you really need to be okay with unpredictability, whether that's shitty Wi-Fi, delayed flight, last minute work, etc. But if you're curious and you feel like you can adapt easily to new environment, new challenges, and that you're quite okay with managing your stress in this kind of situation, then I feel like this lifestyle might be for you if you really want to um, start this new journey of working from abroad and this like whole digital nomad lifestyle. For me, for example, it really feels like a right match because, as I've explained to you from my own experiences, there are some downsides. But for me, it's still worth it. So I know that for me, it's a right match. And that's what you have to figure out for yourself if you're right now thinking about starting this kind of journey. You really have to think about whether this is going to be right for you or not, because you know yourself best and you know what you can deal with or what you can't. And also, as I said, there's a lot of different kind of digital nomads. So it could be that you're like, okay, I don't want to be a digital nomad that actually moves a lot. Actually, you just want to stay in one place for a long period of time, like for 3 months or 6 months, just the same place, and then you will have less struggle, let's say. Okay, so I'm actually filming with my phone and it just died on me, and I was just talking by myself for like 5 minutes, but it's okay. But basically, yeah, I was saying that there's different styles of digital nomads, and you just have to find a way that matches for you. If it's still something that you really want, but you feel a bit like discouraged by my downsides, you can find a way to make it work for you by adjusting it like at your style, because honestly there's no right way to do it. It's not like a one size fits all thing. So really try to learn a lot more about yourself and try to really brainstorm what would work for you or what wouldn't. My advice for everyone who wants to try it is to try it slowly. You don't need to go like full nomad like from the start. That's how I do it now. You just do it slowly. Like you can try with one test month. You can go 1 month to one destination. You can try to stay there for a full month and then see how you're feeling, see what works for you, what doesn't, see if it's a good match for you, if you enjoy it, if you feel like that's something you could see yourself doing on a long term. Like really try to do like that test period first and then come back to your home country and start working from your home country again and see how you're feeling. And at this point, you'll probably have two options. Either you'll feel like, oh my God, I miss it so much. And then now that you're back in your home country, you might be feeling like, I'm not enjoying my work anymore. I was so happy, feeling so fulfilled when I was abroad. And then this could mean that it's really a good match for you and that you'll really keep enjoying it in the future. But what already happened to some people I know is that when they came back to their home country, they actually started thinking like, oh, actually, I'm so much better working from here. And I've heard some people say that once they came back to their home country after trying working from abroad, they realized that actually they like to keep their work and their travel separate. Like they would rather work in their home country and then take occasional travels and then during those travel like not work at all. Like they don't want to mix both. And that's also fine. That's also okay because as I said, this kind of lifestyle is not a right fit for everyone simply because we're all different, and we all want different things, we all like different things, we all have different work styles, different lifestyles, different like priorities or interests. So that's why I keep saying it, but because I feel like it's really important to know that it's really about you, what you want and what works for you. So I feel like it's important to just listen to yourself and listen to how your mind, your interests are changing as you go. So at the end of the day, it's all about designing a life that makes you feel good. It's not about what other people think is right or what you saw on social media that is right. You really just have to focus on you and based on that, make the necessary changes, adjustments, reservations, etc. So, if you're thinking about taking the leap or you're just like dreaming about it or researching about it, feel free to drop your thoughts or your questions. I would love to chat with all of you. And if you have already tried working remotely from abroad, let me know about your experience too, because I always love to hear about other people's experiences. Because as I said, I realized that we all have a different experience when trying the digital nomad lifestyle. So I love to hear about what other people are going through, their thoughts, their experiences. So that was it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe. Also, share this video if you know anyone who's been dreaming about this kind of lifestyle, dreaming about being a digital nomad. And most importantly, stay tuned because I feel like a lot of things will be changing in my life soon. And I want to share this journey with you guys here on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe. Okay, see you.